How to fix double gamepad input in FIFA 17. Welcome back to Tenebalta. If you are experiencing a frustrating double movement glitch in FIFA 17, where a single tap registers twice, you are dealing with a classic dual polling error. During our extensive investigation into the Frostbite engine's input processing, we discovered that the game simultaneously reads your physical generic controller's direct input and the emulated XInput from your wrapper software. This creates a phantom second controller in the game's registry, causing menus to skip and players to move erratically. Tenebalta's engineering team has completely reverse-engineered this conflict and tested every possible configuration. Today, we are presenting our definitive, proprietary diagnostics to eliminate this double gamepad input issue permanently. Step 1. Reposition the mouse cursor. During our initial lab tests, we discovered a bizarre user interface bug tied to the game's window focus. The engine constantly polls the mouse position, and if it rests centrally, it triggers micro-stutters that the game interprets as secondary directional pad inputs. To fix this, simply move your mouse cursor completely off the edge of the screen before launching the game. We confirmed that entering the main menu with the cursor hidden forces the game to lock exclusively onto the emulated controller. Step 2. Install and configure HidHide. To permanently solve the dual polling architecture, our team utilizes a specialized driver called HidHide. This tool intercepts the raw input from your generic controller and masks it from the operating system, allowing only the emulated Xbox 360 signal to pass through. You must install HidHide, select your generic physical controller in the Devices tab, and enable the cloaking feature so FIFA 17 only detects a single gamepad. Step 3. Whitelist emulation software in HidHide. Once the physical controller is hidden, your emulation software like XOutput or DS4 Windows will also lose access to it unless configured properly. Tenebalta's testing revealed that you must add the executable file of your emulation software to the Applications tab in HidHide. This specific routing allows XOutput to read the raw gamepad data while keeping it entirely invisible to the EA game engine. Step 4. Update the ViGEmBus driver. Our diagnostics frequently show that outdated virtual bus drivers cause severe input multiplexing. Emulators rely on the ViGEmBus driver to translate generic inputs into Microsoft-certified XInput data. You need to completely uninstall your current version from the control panel and install the latest stable ViGEmBus release to ensure clean signal translation without ghosting. Step 5. Force exclusive mode in emulators. If you are using DS4 Windows or similar advanced wrappers, you must activate a setting called exclusive mode. This function commands the Windows operating system to forcefully sever all background application ties to the physical controller. We recommend checking the Hide controller box in your wrapper's settings, which performs a similar registry hook to prevent double detection. Step 6. Disable HID-compliant game controllers. For users who prefer not to install third-party masking software, our technicians found a manual registry workaround. Open your Windows Device Manager, expand the Human Interface Devices drop-down, and locate the HID-compliant game controller entry. Right-click and disable this specific device while leaving your virtual Xbox 360 controller active, completely cutting off the native duplicate signal. Step 7. Delete cached FIFA setup files. Sometimes, the game permanently caches the dual controller configuration in its configuration files, overriding any hardware changes you make. Navigate to your Documents folder, open the FIFA 17 directory, and delete the file named buttonDataSetup.ini. The next time you launch the game, our tests confirm it will rebuild this file using only the currently active, single emulated controller. Step 8. Disable the EA app in Game Overlay. The EA app and older Origin clients Inject an invisible overlay into the game that can duplicate controller polling rates. This overlay intercepts XInput calls for its own interface navigation, passing a duplicate command back into the game engine. Open the EA app settings, navigate to the Application tab, and completely toggle off the in-game overlay feature. Step 9. Configure Steam input overrides. If you added FIFA 17 to Steam as a non-Steam game to utilize its controller support, Steam input might be clashing with your standalone emulator like XOutput. Tenabelter recommends right-clicking the game in your Steam library, selecting Properties, navigating to the Controller tab, and choosing Disable Steam Input. This ensures your standalone emulator has absolute, uninterrupted control over the game. Step 10. Remove conflicting ViGEmBus installations. During our hardware audits, we noticed that residual virtual joystick drivers, specifically ViGEmBus, create phantom controllers that FIFA 17 desperately attempts to bind. If you have previously used ViGEmBus for flight simulators or steering wheels, its background service is likely polluting your input registry. You must uninstall ViGEmBus completely and restart your machine to clear the phantom device array. Step 11. Switch to direct motherboard USB ports. Front panel USB hubs on PC cases often share a single internal multiplexer, which can duplicate the hardware ID broadcast of cheaper generic controllers. Our hardware engineers suggest plugging your Gamepad directly into the USB 2.0 ports on the rear motherboard I/O panel. USB 2.0 provides a more stable polling rate for legacy direct input devices, preventing signal bounce. Step 12. Clear Windows device ghosting. Windows often remembers every single USB port your controller was ever plugged into, creating hidden ghost devices in the registry. You must open Command Prompt as an administrator and type a command to show non-present devices in the Device Manager. Once revealed, delete all faded, disconnected generic Gamepad entries to prevent the game from reading historical hardware data. Step 13. Adjust controller dead zones in XOutput. Generic controllers often suffer from analog stick drift, which the game interprets as simultaneous secondary movement commands alongside your digital inputs. Within your XOutput configuration panel, increase the inner dead zone of your analog sticks to at least 15%. This hardware calibration ensures that micro-movements are ignored, eliminating the perception of double skipping in the menus. Step 14. Isolate macro keyboards. High-end gaming keyboards with macro recording software often register themselves in Windows as secondary gamepads to execute complex keystrokes. FIFA 17 will blindly grab this keyboard gamepad interface and merge it with your actual controller. Temporarily unplug your advanced gaming keyboard or disable its macro software before launching the game to isolate the controller input. Step 15. Run software as administrator. Without elevated privileges, your controller wrapper cannot successfully intercept and block the direct input API calls made by the game. We rigorously verified that right-clicking your XOutput or emulator executable and selecting Run as Administrator solves numerous permission-based input leaks. This gives the emulation software the strict system authority needed to suppress the original hardware signal. Don't forget to follow Tenabelter for more.